Hi everyone. So I'm going to help you out with task 200 and task 201 just by going through a few answers basically and obviously giving the explanation as I go. So the first thing we're going to look at is find the midpoint of a line segment with n coordinates and then the question is whatever it is. So what you can do is you can draw yourself a little picture. So when you sat there at home, it's probably a really good idea you've got some paper and you've got a pen or pencil. And basically what we're going to do is I'm just going to sort of just sketch basically, not plot accurately where these coordinates are. So -4, 8 is, well, I go along to -4, so just go along some random amount that way and then go up to 8. So there you go. There's -4, 8. And 4 minus 2 would be go along this way and then down a bit. So I'm not doing it accurately, that's the idea. Obviously, if you had squared paper, you could do this more accurately. But you don't need to, okay? This is just to get an idea. And then the question is, if you join these up with a straight line, well, first of all, that's what this is. This is called the line segment. So that thing there is the line segment, and it says find the midpoint. So what that means is that if you go to exactly halfway on this line, so you would measure it and then go exactly halfway. So I don't know. It looks to me maybe that it's about here, something like that. The question is what's this coordinate? Right, we want to know what that is. And so the method is actually quite straightforward. You add up the x coordinates and then you divide by 2. And then you add up the y coordinates and then you divide by 2. So to see that in practice, let's do the x coordinates first, since that's what the method tells us to do. So we're going to have -4 add 4. So the x coordinates are -4 and 4. And that's 0. If you start on -4 and then you add 4, you get to 0. And then if I do 0 divided by 2, I get 0. So this answer here is 0. Now I'll do the same thing with the y coordinates. I've got 8 and I've got -2 for the y coordinates. So 8 add -2 is 6. If you add negativity to something, you bring it down. So I was starting on 8 and I go down to 6. And then I need to remember to do this divided by 2. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. So this answer is 3. And then basically the answer, the final answer, this coordinate, is going to be given by 0, 3. You put the x answer in the x coordinate and you put the y answer as the y coordinate. And that's your final answer. Okay, that's your final answer. And the method is the same every time for that. So, for example, get rid of that. I'll just quickly do another one. So this time I'm not going to do all of that drawing and all of that writing. I'm just going to apply the method. Okay, so if you want to go back and look at the previous part, you can just rewind the video and have a look at the method. But what we need to do is we need to do 1 add 3, which is 4. Right, so these are the x coordinates, 1 and 3. And then 4 divided by 2, which is 2. I need to do 7 add -2, which is 5. And then 5 divided by 2, which is 2.5 or 2.5. So my final answer is 2.5. And that's it. Now remember, coordinates have commas. So some people yesterday weren't getting these right because you were just putting spaces, or you were just putting, full stops. Coordinates have commas, and you do need to make sure you put them in. Right, and then this question, if 2, 1 is the midpoint of the line segment ST, so this is a little bit confusing, I guess, because of how it's written. But what you've basically got is you've got a line segment ST, and you're told the coordinates of S are 5, 4, and the coordinates of T are two things you don't know, right? You don't know the coordinates of T. This is what it's asking you to find. But it tells you that 2, 1 is the midpoint. Right, so halfway along, we've got 2, 1. Right, halfway along, we've got 2, 1. And so all you want to do to work this out is you want to do the X numbers first and then the Y numbers. So starting with 5, what did we do to get to 2? So we went down by 3. Now, if that was only halfway, what do we need to do to go the full way? I need to go down by another 3. So to get halfway, I've gone down by 3. So to go the full way down, I'm going to go down by 6. So starting with 5, go down 3 is 2, go down 3 again is -1. So -1 goes there. And the same idea for the Y numbers. What have I done to go from 4 to 1? I've gone down by 3 for that one as well, as it happens. I'll have to go down by another 3 to get to the end. So 1 take away 3 is -2. And this method is basically the same. It's always going to be the same method. The only thing that's going to change is the coordinates, right? The numbers. Hopefully I've got a... No, I haven't got a similar question. Yeah, it doesn't even matter how I've drawn it, to be honest. You just literally want to continue the pattern. So 5, go down 3 to get to 2, go down 3 to get to -1. 4, go down 3 to 1, go down 3 to -2. If the numbers were different, imagine it was like this. I'll just make up an example. So there's a line segment. I'm going to start with 7, 3. I'm going to make this midpoint be 9, 5. And the question is what's this? So 7 to get to 9 is... Oh, I've accidentally done a similar thing to the previous question. Let me change the 5 to something else. So 9, 7. Let's do that. So 7 to get to 9, I've added 2. So I've got to add another 2 to get 11. And 3 to get to 7, I've added 4. So I've got to add another 4. And I'll actually end up at 11, 11, as it happens. So this pattern goes 7, 9, 11, going up in 2s. Then the Y numbers, the pattern is going up in 4s, 3, 7, 11. Okay, gradient. So what's the gradient of a line? So the gradient of a line is, you imagine I've drawn some line, and if you can work out how far along horizontally it goes, so this is like the how far along, and then there's how far up it goes as well. How far up it goes as well, but I need to write this again because it crashed. There's the along number, and then there's a up number. So basically the gradient, I need to write it again, right, up, right, okay. It's because I keep changing color and it doesn't like it, that's the problem. But okay, whatever. The gradient is how far up divided by, okay, so it's a division, how far along. Okay, so that's the key formula, basically. You need to know this formula. Okay, so let's just put these coordinates on. Let's say this is 4, 3, and this is 5, 7. Right, how far along have we gone? If we started at 4, and then went, so the along is the x's, by the way. So the along is the x's. Maybe I should point that out. You know, you've got your coordinates x. Sorry, it keeps crashing. And I don't really have time to edit the videos. X, Y. So basically, X is the along, and the Y is the up and down, basically. So for the along, you're just looking at the 4 and the 5. Okay, you're just looking at the x coordinates. That's the point. For the along, you're just looking at the x coordinates. Okay, so how far along have we gone to go from 4 to 5? So we've gone 1 along. So it is 1 along. And then how far up have we gone? And this time we look at the y numbers. So we started at 3, but we've ended up going up to 7. So how far up did we go? We went 4 up. So the formula that I'm going to use is just literally gradient is up over along, which is 4 over 1, which means 4 divided by 1, which is 4. So that's the answer, right? That's the answer to that one. Literally, the answer is just 4. Right, similar idea. How far along have we gone to go from, you see, look, if you look, what you want to do is you want to put the smaller number first in the x's. So the smaller x number is actually -6 out of these two, isn't it? -6 versus 4. So I'm actually going to go from -6, -16 along to 4, -6. So the question is how far along have I gone from -6 to 4? So I start at -6 and I go how far to get to 4? So it's 10 along. How far up to go from -16 up to -6? So if I'm at -16, I'm going to go up 10 to get to -6. So that's 10 up. Now obviously I'm going a bit faster. You would take a bit of time to work these out in the actual task itself, but I'm telling you what the formula is basically. So the gradient formula is once you've worked out how far along you've gone from the coordinates and how far up you've gone for the coordinates, you plug it into this formula, which is up divided by along. So it's 10 divided by 10, which is 1. Right, the gradient is just 1. Right, and then last one. Again, I'm going to use a formula. Gradient is up over along, which, and when you're given a picture like this, you can pick anywhere to start. So I would recommend starting on a nice coordinate where the like the grid lines meet, so they're nice whole numbers. So for example, here's a nice coordinate, and here's a nice coordinate, right? Because they are 1, 3 and 2, 6. That they're nice in comparison to, for example, if I randomly pick this coordinate here, this is like 2.5, 7.5, and it's like it's not as nice, is it? So I want to pick as nice coordinates as I possibly can. Okay, and then the question is how far along have I gone? Well, it's 1 along. And how far up have I gone? It's 3 up. So for us, it's 3 divided by 1, which is 3. Now, I'm also going to show you that it wouldn't matter if you pick different coordinates. Okay, so let's imagine I instead picked this coordinate and this coordinate, just for the sake of argument, right? I'm not saying you would pick that coordinate, but you could. How far along have we gone? Well, this time we've gone 2 along, and this time I've gone, if you count, it's 6 up. We get the same answer. 6 divided by 2 is 3 as well. It's the same answer no matter which coordinates you pick. And that's the idea, okay? Right, so hopefully this helps. If you need any more help, you can ask on Teams. Okay, so screen cap the questions you're stuck on and I'll help you out. Obviously watch this video, watch Mr. Hegarty's videos, and you know, give the tasks a try. Okay, thank you. See you later. Bye-bye.